I tried this DIY hack to build a rain cover for my garden, and the results were very interesting. For this project, I used some PVC pipe. It's 1/2 inch and it is 10 feet long. I also used some garden stakes. I've got some tape. I used some plastic sheeting. It's 3.5 milliliters thick and 10 by 25. Spring clamps, got some measuring tape and scissors. I took about 16 garden stakes and then I marked where I wanted them to be level with the ground. I'm going to bury these about 1.5 feet into the soil. It's best to do this when there's been a good rain so they'll go directly in without any work. If you're wondering why these stakes are so small, they actually are. I'm going to use the tape to make this thicker, but that's coming up in the next step. I took this tape and I looped it around one part of the garden stake, and then I went ahead and flipped it over and did another loop on the other side, pretty much just adding some width to the stakes because I think they were probably about 3/4 of an inch thick. So that obviously wasn't going to work for sticking it into a 1/2 inch PVC pipe, the thickness of that width. So just take this and make it a little bit thicker. I did 2 looping layers just to make sure that I reach that desired thickness. And this is what it looks like when it's finished. And I actually tested this to make sure that it would fit into the pipe snugly, and it does. And it's also really secure when I try and bend it. So I was happy with this part. So after that, I slid the pipe into the ground all the way up to my mark point. I took the PVC pipe and I slid that over the stake with the tape wrapped around it. And literally, like I said before, this thing is 10 feet long. It goes from the ground all the way to the power lines. And once I got this one PVC pipe on, I pretty much just bent it and connected it to the other stake that was in the ground. And this is what one hoop looks like. So I just continued like this, y'all. I just kept putting the pipe in on one side, bending it, connecting it to the other stake, and really just watching out for those power lines, y'all. I mean, the power lines were right there. So when I'm looking up, I'm basically just trying not to mess up our electrical system. And this is me doing a little dance because I thought I did a good job. It was looking good so far. Then I grabbed my plastic sheeting and I unrolled that and I started measuring it. My garden bed is 8 by 4, so I did a measurement of 9 by 8.5, just so I would have a little bit of overhang over the edge of my garden bed. That's really what I wanted, so that I can strap these flaps down. And then I almost tripped on myself being clumsy. And so yeah, I just cut both ends. And then when I had my shape and everything was cut, I fit the whole thing over my garden bed. I went in and I added my spring clamps to various ends of the garden bed, and they were actually surprisingly secure. So this is what the finished product looks like. And I have so many things to share, things that I learned that I would not do again from this journey. Even though it looks pretty good, there's just some things that I really did miss. So the first thing is that I am missing a spine for this structure. So I have the 4 garden hoops, but what I really needed was another piece of PVC pipe to run from hoop 1 to hoop 4, and then attach that with some PVC snap clamps, and that would have made this thing so much more secure. The other thing I missed is that I should have actually put my stakes all the way on the edge of the bed and maybe just a little bit over, because right now the rain still kind of gets through, which is not a big deal. I really put this up just so my plants weren't drowning in rain. That was the goal. So this is an easy fix. This is something that I can do later, probably when I fix that spine issue. Other than that, the other major issue I saw, I wanted to get these PVC clamps that would just go directly and securely onto the sheeting and the pole. They didn't have them in the store, so I had to figure something out quickly. Would I consider this a DIY fail? Not entirely. It keeps the majority of the rain off. Rain covers can cost a lot of money online. This cost me probably $68. I would probably just implement some fixes. I can't really be too mad at it.